Hey everybody, I'm Josh and welcome to the Season 9 premiere of Just Sayin. Thank you. On the show today, we are kicking off Season 9 with our back to school month, and today we focus on the little hellions, children, pre-K through 5th grade. So, we are going to move on with our host chat. We have with the show, I have a lot to talk to you about, so let's go ahead and answer the question, what is Josh drinking? And on the show today, no shock, I'm drinking good old Mountain Dew. PepsiCo. I have a surprise for you guys for my Christmas show. I'm still thinking about how I'm doing it, so just be ready. You'll call me after my Christmas show. Or not. So I tried it a couple of years ago and it flopped. I'm going to do it again this year. I'm bringing back my Toys for Tots drive. I'm 61 subscribers away from my goal of 100 subscribers. And here's how it's going to work. There's a little bit of a twist. If I get 60 subscribers, I will donate $1 for every subscriber I get, up to 60 subscribers. And I say that because if I get 61 subscribers, that will be my goal of 100 subscribers. Therefore, I will donate $100 to Toys for Tots. So literally, if not for me, for the kids, please click the subscribe button and no, you cannot unsubscribe and resubscribe. I just look at the total number, so if you did that, it would go down to 38, and then resubscribing would bring it back to 39, so it really wouldn't do any good. Just create another profile and add me. I'm kidding, don't make ghost profiles, people. So yeah, we're doing that. Also, last season, I kind of threw some information at you, and said, see you next season. So here's the story. As I mentioned, I brought on a producer. He is a friend of mine, married, has a kid, one on the way. And he's the one that had a podcast, ended it with his friend, ended it, gave me his microphone. And throughout the series of doing my show, I've gone to him, hey, how does this segment sound? Hey, can you watch this, critique it, let me know, do I need to refilm it? Whatever. And so finally, probably mid-season 6, he was like, dude, just make me a producer and I'll help you with the show. And I was like, okay, fine. And so that's how it all started. He doesn't want to be his name on camera, so I'm just going to call him Producer Man. And for the last couple of seasons, that's every time I look off camera and talk, it's to him. So yeah. And I tell you this because there's some minor changes coming to the show. First of all, today is July 13th. And first of all, let me say this about the Toys for Tots thing. I've already been telling people about this, so as today is July 13th, if I get any prior to posting this episode, I will count them towards the Toys for Tots drive. And I tell you that today is July 13th because we're filming early. I really didn't get a break. So side note, if I mention getting a break, hint, I really didn't. Just play along. And here's why. So when we were sitting down figuring out how this was going to work, or what he was going to do, how he was going to help me, we were looking at my statistics. And statistics show that people will watch the first few minutes of the show and then move on. And so he thinks that if we catch your attention at the beginning, you'll stay longer. And so that's kind of what we're trying to work on this season, especially with the Toys for Tots drive. So yeah, so when we were sitting down and talking, and this is literally how our conversation went, because this is our personality, this is our sense of humor towards each other, and we love to try and drive each other nuts. We had gone out to eat, and we were sitting there talking about it, and he was like, well, I would need control of the show. And I said, but it's my show. And he said, but I would need control of the show. And I said, but it's my show. And he said, I would need control of the show. And I said, but it's my show. And then he said, and it went on for longer than that, but finally he said, well then, how about just give me a little control of the show, and I'll either prove myself, or then I'll just be a silent producer and help you along the way. I said, okay. So his trial is this season. If he flops, he's out. But I trust him. He's a good guy. I just like to harass him. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story about Producer Man. So the sketches that we currently have will either go bye-bye or may get changed up a little bit. It was his idea to begin Is That Too Far, which was awesome. I love that sketch. And he revamped the sketch I have in today's show. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm going to pretend like I am. And give you, throughout the show today, 7 warning signs, or red flags, I should say, not warning signs. 7 red flags that should have told me that I was going to be gay growing up. So it's going to be a great show. Yeah. And that's it. So, let's go ahead and start the sketch that he thinks is hilarious. And I don't. I liked the way I used to do it. But here we go. And I'm going to do it fair. I'm not going to, bum out about it. I'm going to do it fair, give you guys an honest chance here. Or give it an honest chance here. So, here we go. I have to read his script. I had to agree to that. So, from now on is his script, okay? So, here we go. Hope you guys had a great 6 weeks off. I had a great one. I got a lot done. I did so much. Let me tell you, it was almost like it went so fast it never happened. One thing I did not get a chance to do during my break is check my emails for the show. So if you don't mind, I'm going to check a few here real quick in a little sketch that I like to call Viewer Emails. Here we go. How many siblings do I have? I have 2 older sisters who wish to remain nameless on the show. So I'm going to call my older sister Betty Sue, and I'm going to call the middle sister Mary Lou. And to help you remember which one's which for stories later down the road, because my birthday month's coming up and there's going to be a lot of flashbacks. No, I'm not acting anything out. No. Anyway, Betty Sue is first in the alphabet. She was first born, so Betty Sue and Mary Lou. Okay. So, throughout our adult childhood, throughout our adulthood, I always joked about something that happened when we were kids, but I said it kind of misleadingly. I will admit it was kind of misleading, and I'll tell you how I said it a little bit later. But let me tell you the story first. I don't want to give it away with how I said it. So, growing up, I moved to the town I live in when I was 10. So I would say the first 9 years of my life I lived on a farm. And it's not like we had livestock or anything like that. We had dog and cats. But my dad farmed. And so our nearest neighbor was 2 miles away. And so it would be just the 3 of us playing together. And the more I think about it, when I first started saying it the way I used to say it, Betty Sue and Mary Lou both said, dude, that never happened. I don't remember that. And then, after finally 15 some odd years of me saying what I was saying, I told the entire story. And Betty Sue said, dude, that never happened. And Mary Lou said, I kind of remember that. So, the more I think about it, and because of the scenario that happened, which I'm going to tell you here in a minute, kind of leads me to believe it was Mary Lou and a friend of hers. Maybe Betty Sue wasn't involved. I don't know. But here's the story. So, growing up with two older sisters, a lot of the times, red flag number one, we'd play Barbies or school or house. And whenever we played school, I was always the student because I was the youngest. Every time we played house, I was always the kid, never an adult. And in our basement, under our stairway was a little closet. Freaked me out. There was no light in it. But I would always only be in there for a couple of minutes because, like, she would say, okay, go to bed. And so I'd go into my bedroom and she would, like, a couple minutes later say, hey, it's morning, let's go to school, whatever. And so one time, Mary Lou and someone, and I say it was Mary Lou because she kind of remembers it. So we'll say she's involved. And chances are, if something bad happened when we were growing up, it was Mary Lou was involved. But she's like, okay, it's bedtime, go to your bedroom and it will wake you in the morning. And so I go in there, and keep in mind, it's dark. It's dark in this closet. And I'm sitting there, 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 and I'm sitting there. And I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there. And finally, I open the door. It literally had to have been like 10 minutes. I open the door, they're gone. I think it was Mary Lou and her friend, and they worked it up so I would leave. So they would leave. So 25 years later, I came out of the closet. So anyway, yeah, I have two older sisters, Betty Sue and Mary Lou. Betty Sue's the oldest. Email number 2, password for your Playboy.com membership has changed. How is that funny? Why would I have a Playboy.com membership? Do I have any hidden talents? I wouldn't call them hidden talents. I would just call them talents I don't do in front of other people. No, I mean, growing up until I want to say high school, my sisters and I had learned to play the piano. I haven't played forever. I probably have not sat down and actually played on a piano other than like chopsticks or just a couple of chords since high school. So if you gave me some time and some sheet music, I would figure it out. I'd relearn it. I mean, I remember all of the basics. It's just putting it all together and learning to read the sheet music. Relearning to read the sheet music, I guess. But yeah, that was one of them, and I played church organ, red flag number 2. Also, I sing. I don't karaoke. I don't like to karaoke in front of people. However, I will bring up my production program, and I have this little microphone that I bought at the store down the street, and I crank it up through my home device, and I just sing. And sometimes I will pull up my production program and press record, but I will never show them until he goes through the computer and finds them, so I need to delete them. No, they're in a hidden folder somewhere. Anyway, so yeah. Those are my... Oh, and I was in church choir, red flag number 3. And I was in high school chorus, red flag number 4. Mainly in chorus because it was an easy A. Most of the time we just watched musicals, red flag number 5. My favorite musical, by the way, is Singin' in the Rain. Second favorite would have to be Fiddler on the Roof. 1, because it's great, and 2, because we watched it every semester in high school. And I was in it for 4 years, so that's 8 semesters. Like, I have the whole movie playing out in my head right now as I'm talking about it. Anyway. But yeah, there's 5 red flags ready for you. Email number 4, I feel bad for Producer Man because he has to clean up the mess you made so far. Really? I call BS. I don't even think I called you Producer Man last season. I'll have to watch them back and figure it out. But I don't think I called you producer, man. I think you made that one up. And email number 5, I've won $1 million. Sweet. Those were my viewer emails. If you have an email you'd like to submit, whether it be a question, something funny you want me to share on the show, or, I don't know, how about a complaint about a sketch that got changed? Email the show. My shoulder popped. That's a sign of getting old. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the real laugh started with what I write. That's right, it's time for another cheesy monologue. So, I'm trying to organize myself here and it's not working. This story I tell is just because it's fun to say. It's a fun story to tell. I know I'm over time, but it's a fun story to tell. You may think it's annoying like everyone else I tell this story to, but anyway, it's fun for me. So, as you may, if you're psycho like me and figure things out, every month this season will have its own theme. And this month it's back to school. Next month is my birthday month, ending with my 40th birthday show. And then October is Halloween month, ending with the Spooktacular. And the 2 episodes in November will be the 100th and the season finale. And so, I'm out of breath already. I thought a good way to use holidayinsights.com would be right now in my monologue. So, I went to holidayinsights.com, and fun fact, this is true, the first week of August is International Pirates Week. First of all, they're in the middle of nowhere. Second of all, they probably don't have a calendar, nor know what day, week, month, or even year it is. How would they know when to celebrate International Pirates Week? What are we supposed to do to celebrate? Pillage our neighbors' houses? What's pillage mean? I don't know. Anyway, so I thought, what the hell? There might be some funny jokes. So I did go to LateNightLOL.com, and in the search bar I typed in pirates. There were 40 jokes, and all of them sucked. So I went back to holidayinsights.com, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and write episode number 2 and episode number 3's monologues. Maybe something will jog. So I'm looking for I'm looking for the daily holidays in week 2, and all of a sudden I see it. August 11th is Tell a Presidential Joke Day. So I thought, let's do it for episode number 2. We'll do it. How can I have a show like this and not do presidential jokes? So then I went back to LateNightLOL.com, and in the search bar this time typed in presidents. There were over 500 jokes, so I thought, what the hell, let's celebrate all month long. Tell a presidential joke day with some presidential jokes in my monologue. The story's over now. Anyway, so all month long, while outdated, all my jokes will be about presidents. Hold on tight. Here we go. Eric Trump went on Fox and Friends and passionately defended his father, while at home watching, Donald Trump was like, I know that kid from somewhere. President Trump's doctor predicted that the president will live a long and healthy life. In a related story, Melania Trump has recently been diagnosed and is being treated for depression. No, how could it be so? It has come out that President Trump enjoys eating cheeseburgers while he's laying in bed, which may explain why Melania goes to bed dressed as a salad. Dressed as a salad. President Obama threw out the first pitch of the Washington Nationals game. Obama took a short windup, threw a high arching pitch. Democrats saw the pitch as moderately down the middle, while Republicans saw it way to the left and possibly socialist. President Obama laid out his plans to reduce the $14 trillion national debt. Unfortunately for Sasha Malia, it involves a lot of Girl Scout cookie sales. Then again, think about it, like that would have been perfect, because who would have said no to the president's daughters? When your father's the president and you say no to buying Girl Scout cookies any amount they want, you could be bombed or thrown out of the country. That would have been a great idea. We have child labor laws. Don't do it, China. Anyway, it's time now for my joke of the week. God rest her soul. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is being criticized because she broke with the traditional Supreme Court impartiality and said that a Donald Trump presidency would be terrible for the United States. In a response to her critics, Ginsburg said, "Job for life, mofos." I always mess that one up, so I'm just going to move on. President Obama said that he would go to the Super Bowl if the Chicago Bears were playing in it. In a related story, Sarah Palin said she would go if real Bears were playing in it. Wrong button, but it worked. Later this month, Donald Trump is going to make his first foreign trip as president. That's right, he's going to a library. Since President Obama took office, the Democratic Party has lost 9 governorships, 56 members of Congress, and 2 Senate seats. In his defense, Obama said, "I did say things were going to change." And finally, on Friday, despite our trade wars, tension in the South China Sea, and the Chinese hacking attacks, President Obama gave President Xi Jinping a full South Lawn welcome, where the Chinese president greeted every White House staffer by name and social security number. Which would be a warning. We're just going to move on. So, my first segment today will definitely show you why mothers or fathers or any stay-at-home parent is glad when they get to send their kids back to school. And it's one of the reasons I don't have kids. So, this first kid must have got a hold of his baby powder. Or he's starting the life of cocaine early. Hardcore, too. Now, at the time I do like to be around kids. It's fun to watch them. Because I love to people watch anyway. I will go to the mall and just, sit and watch people. And, in my head, have a conversation about what I think they're talking about. And so I just like to, put myself in their position, you know. And you wonder, how did the kid start to realize that the circle peg goes in the circle hole, or the star peg goes in the star hole, you know, stuff like that. Because obviously I don't remember. I would love to be inside this kid's head. And my second question is, where are the fish? Here's the next one, and I think it is adorable, if I'm not doing it, when kids help adults make breakfast or bake, but leave the eggs to the adults. Please. I remember my nephews used to always help me, and I would just start the soap water and be like, "Okay, you can help me just wash this dish," and they do it because they were helping. Gosh darn it! A little hint to your parents. Now, this parent I don't understand and gets no sympathy from me. When you leave a pile of something in front of a child, you expect them to play in it. Just saying. I'm not a parent, and I expect them to play in it. This next one, the child was only left alone for 2 minutes. This next kid was only left alone for a minute. Now, I'll admit, red flag number 7, that when I was in high school, I worked at a daycare. And every couple of weeks, twice a month, we would buy a bunch of shaving cream and spray it all over the desks, and the kids would play in it, and It would clean the desks. Haha, cheap child labor. And I'm just hoping that that's what this kid is doing. But the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking it's toothpaste. I'm weird when it comes to brushing my teeth. Like, I have to do it like 4 times a day. And I have to have my tooth in a holder. Or my toothbrush, my toothbrush in like a case. And yeah, I'm weird. Anyway. I don't know. This next kid, I'm hoping the caption on the picture is true. And that he just wanted, this child just wanted to put on makeup like mommy. And not make themselves look like a killer clown. Now, they say, and I've heard this saying, the face of a child says it all. Especially the mouth part. And it's true, especially when kids do something wrong. They either make one of 3 faces. The face of, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was wrong. The face of, I knew it was wrong and I'm really sorry, but it was fun while I was doing it. Or the face of, I knew it was wrong, I don't give a shit, it was a lot of fun. These kids have the face of, there's going to be a foot broke off in my ass. Just saying. But do you remember getting in trouble as a kid and your mom would say, just wait until your father gets home? And the harshest words a parent could ever say to an adult, to a child, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Breaks your heart. Moving on. And finally, this girl just wanted to color. I'm hoping her parent told her to color anything white in her coloring book, and the kid just didn't hear that part. So, I told you guys previously that I wanted to be a teacher. And these are some... First of all, some of these answers make me glad that I never became one. And some of the answers, while marked wrong in the pictures, I would have given at least some credit to. Not all, but some credit to. It's time to look at some bad assignment papers in this week's edition of What's Wrong Here? I think it's amazing that women, and especially children, and men, are accepting their bodies and loving their curves and their figure. This girl is really happy about her boobs. I'm not... maybe it's because I'm gay. I don't know. But I don't know what's going on below there. I don't know. But she's really happy about the boobs. Here's the next one. Now, do you remember when you were learning letters and, for example, and I use this example because it's on the screen, it's going to be on the screen here in a minute. When you learn the letter I, and you were learning that not only could it be a vowel, but it could also be its own word. And so you're writing, I can skate, I can bake a cake. Or it would start with I can, and then you'd finish the sentence and this kid had to draw a picture. Well, if this is, the kid wrote I can pee, and if this is your stream of pee, you might want to go see a doctor. If you can stand that far back, and it's still that strong of a stream, you need to see a doctor. Here's the next one, and this kid would get a little, like half a credit if I were his teacher. The question is 4 plus 3, and you're supposed to tell 2 ways to find it. Way number 1, use your fingers. Here's the next one. Oh, no, that's the same one. Here's the next one. Now, I applaud anyone with any sort of artistic ability. I cannot draw a stick figure if my life depended on it. And if I were tracing it, I still wouldn't be able to do it. This kid, I applaud his creativity. However, I don't know what the person in yellow is doing or why they're doing it. Here's the next one, and this one I'd give maybe a quarter of a credit to. What number does 300 plus 70 plus 2 equal? A lot. Now this next one is only going to be at the bottom because it was that small, and as I tried to make it bigger, it kept getting blurrier. And the first part of the question is torn off, so I'm just going to start with the multiple choice answers. Okay, answers are A, 3 ounces, B, 15 ounces, or C, 16 ounces. And you were supposed to fill in the letter of whatever the answer is. And then the next question says, what were you trying to find? Like, are you finding the difference, the quotient, the product, the sum? This kid wrote the answer. I would give that kid maybe a quarter of a credit. Because technically that's true. You are looking for the answer. This kid would get 3/4 of credit because really clever. And you are talking about fractions. Tony buys 1 dozen roses. Half of them are red. How many of the other roses are not red? Half. He is technically correct. Here's the next one. Now, I remember when growing in school, we would have to, like, for a Mother's or Father's Day, we would make, like, a book of memories with our mom or with our dad or whatever. And this kid, and I can't tell if it's 2009 or 2004, but I'm going to read it as 2004. This kid added that the event was this kid was born in 2009. The drawing says it all. Especially that if those are her legs, no wonder she got pregnant. Here's the next one. This kid would get no credit. Briefly explain what hard water is. Ice. Just saying. I mean, yeah, he's right, but... Now, do you remember in spelling, where you'd have a spelling test every week? And normally they were on Thursdays or Fridays. And Mondays you'd go home and you'd have to write the word 10 times, each word 10 times. And then Tuesday you'd go home and you'd have to write so many sentences using each word. And then Wednesdays you'd go home and study or whatever, do something out of your grammar book. And then Thursdays would be your test, or Fridays. This kid's word was encountered. And he not only had to write a sentence, but also had to draw a picture of it. And he put that I encountered Justin Bieber in prison. I would give him full credit. I mean, that is clever. Now, I love my next segment. I started it during my during my throwback episode, and I'm bringing it back for this episode. Let me get that off the screen. Because I thought it would be fun to look at some pre-K through 5th grade toys in this week's edition of Back in My Day. Oh, I thought I had more time. Oh, that's right. This is the best take I've done so far, so we're keeping it so. This next one was the original Super Soaker. The Super Soaker 50. And I had a friend who also had one, and he knew some guys that had some. And I knew some guys that had some Super Soakers. So 3 times a summer, we'd get together and we'd have a water gun fight. One time, and we're going to call him Bob. Bob called me, and he's like, hey, bro, let's get the gang together. Let's have a water gun fight. I said, okay, fine. And I was just go with the flow type of kid. And so we met up. He was the last to arrive, and we're all standing there with our Super Soaker 50s. And it was like the thing to wait for every summer to see what the new Super Soaker was going to be like. And all of a sudden, here he comes with a backpack of water and what looks like a fire hose. And it was the Super Soaker 5000. He's compensating for something. Kidding. Unfortunately, we don't talk anymore. Here's the next one. I never understood this one. It was called the Bumbleball. And basically, you would turn it on, it would vibrate around the floor, and toddlers would laugh. I'm sorry, I will save the money and the batteries and make the kid laugh myself. Here's the next one, and these were much like the moon shoes that I showed you last time I did this segment. These were like the training roller skates. I don't want to give the company away, or I don't want to say the company. But it was one size fits none. You'd put your entire shoe in there, and what better way to secure a child's foot on something that rolls, sort of, than plastic Velcro. Perfect and ingenious. We didn't have shoulder pads, elbow pads. We didn't have to go roller skating like we were playing a game of football. Our parents didn't care about safety. If you got hurt, they just look at you and say, "Oh, guess you won't do that again, huh?" Wimps. Moving on. So yeah, these were the like training roller skates. But basically, by the time you got actual roller skates, obviously they're plastic wheels, so really all you would do is walk, and they'd roll a little bit, and you'd never feel comfortable. And that's when you put on actual roller skates, you'd fall on your butt every time. So these were a waste of money. Here's the next one, and I give props to anybody who can play the yo-yo, who can yo-yo with a yo-yo, because yo-yo is a verb. This was the yo-yo ball. It was a ball for yo-yos. It was a yo-yo in a ball shape, but they were popular. I don't get it either. But that's the yo-yo ball. Now, you were cool if you had the next item, because I had one. This was the invisible phone. Basically, you could see the inner workings of a phone. And this is called a landline. You didn't have, you actually had to call people and talk to them. Kid you not. I know, it's shocking. And when people said, "Hey, I'm on the phone," you were literally on the phone. Unless you were in the kitchen with the avocado or tangerine colored phone and had the 60-foot long phone cord that you could wrap around the house a couple times. And then once a year, you would let your kid stand on top of the counter with the receiver on the bottom, holding the cord and just letting it spin. And then the next time you hung it up, it'd all of a sudden be tangled again. You'd like, "What the?" Yeah. Literally, we had to talk to people and remember phone numbers. We had phone books. I mean, come on. Nowadays, my nephews are like, "I don't want to talk to them." Anyway. So I do that sometimes, especially with my family. This was Nickelodeon's GAC, back when Nickelodeon was actually good. Basically, it was just like slime. And it was advertised this way, that when you put it back in the container, it would make farting noises. Because what doesn't get the attention of a fourth grade boy than farting noises? But I will say this, not that it happened to me, but don't leave your GAC sitting on the bed and then sit on it in your favorite jeans, because it doesn't come out of fabric. I still miss those jeans. But it wasn't me. Anyway. Bedspread was ruined too. But it wasn't me. Now, if you are under the age... Oh, hold on. If you are under the age of 21, please skip ahead until you see what I post next go off the screen again. Because there's no way that I can explain this next item without getting sexual. But it's funny. Funny coincidence. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, skip ahead now. Here's the next item. This was called like a tubies or wobblies or something. I don't remember. You'd get them like in crane games or at the carnival. And basically it was a pouch of water, and you would just basically go like this and try to keep it in your hand without it wobbling out. It looks like a sexual toy, and 6 months after these came out, we had the first fleshlight. True story. We're gonna move on. Unskip now. Okay, so here's the next one, and this is called the Viewfinder. These were basically the comic books of my generation. For children, I guess. Because it would tell a story on it. It'd be like comic book drawings. It would tell a story on it. And you would point it up at a light, and you'd just fumble through it. And just, that was it. Yeah. Here's the next one. Now, this is another sign that our parents didn't care much at all about our safety. This was Polly Pocket. And yes, back in my day, we had boy toys and girl toys. This was not a boy toy. It was called Polly Pocket. It was basically the size of a wallet for like a dollhouse on the go, for traveling dollhouse. It was a clever idea. Keep in mind you're traveling, so in a vehicle. Okay. Playing with the small dollhouse. So obviously the doll was no bigger probably than an earbud. I kid you not. Seriously. And this, we didn't care that we were traveling down the street with a choke and our child was freely playing with a choking hazard. We didn't care. Well, I guess you won't put it in your mouth next time, huh? That's how our parents were. We didn't go to the hospital for every sneeze. Well, my mom's a nurse. We never got off school unless we're puking blood or dying. Here's the next one, and it's called Mr. Bucket. I never got fun out of it because I'm colorblind, but basically there's 4 different colored balls. He would randomly walk around and spit out a ball. And if you had the matching colored grabber, picker, upper thingy, you'd go pick up that ball and put it in the bucket before it spit out another one. Lots of fun for the kiddies, but not for me because I'm colorblind. So I would just sit there and someone would be like, "Hey, your ball's out." And then I'd be like, "What?" Anyway. Well, that will do it. Season 9. I'm sorry, everybody, but I think I can smell smoke, which can mean one of two things. Either producer's man smoking at the gauntlet without me again, or it's time for Ya Burnt. Fun fact, it was both. Knew he was back there doing something. Anyway, moving on. I thought I ended it last season. I thought I'd start it with it this season. And I cannot confirm nor deny anything, but you may see this a couple more times during, I don't know, maybe milestone episodes this season. I don't know. So here we go. A lot of topics to sizzle through, not a lot of time. First up, marathons. Hey, marathons. If I wanted to watch somebody travel 26 miles by foot, I would watch Lord of the Rings. Marathon weekend in New York City is like any other weekend in New York City, except the people going to the bathroom in the streets are in much better shape. Marathons, my nipples may be chafed, but you burn. Lemon lime soda. Let's be real here. We don't need both of you. Lemons and limes are basically the same thing. You are the property brothers of soda. Sideburn property brothers. Also, soda without caffeine. That's like asking for heroin without the high of 10,000 orgasms. Lemon lime soda, 7 Up yours, you burnt. Button fly jeans. Just what I wanted, a padlock for my pants. Because everybody loves to play that 5-second panic game where you go into the bathroom and think, am I going to get these done in time? Buttonfly jeans, zip it! You burnt. Marie Kondo, let me get this straight. You want me to get rid of everything in my house that doesn't spark joy in my life? Well then get the hell out of my house. Stop trying to get me to throw out my old t-shirts. I love my old t-shirts. Sure, Al Gore and Joe Lieberman aren't running for office now, but with today's politics, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Marie Kondo, spark yourself, you burnt. China, it's come out that you have the world's #1 economy. Congratulations. You should put that on a coffee mug and make it in factories by kids. Anyone can have a good economy without labor laws, without them just cheating, but we already know you know how to do that from the gymnastics in the Summer Olympics. We all know they were kids, but hey, at least you gave them the day off from the mug factory. China, is that smog? Nope, it's smoke because you're. Light jackets. When am I supposed to wear you? The ideal temperature for a light jacket is between 65 and 66 degrees. Any warmer and I don't need you. Any colder and I'm going to get out the big guns. I've bought jackets. I've worn jackets. You are not a jacket. You are a $70 cape with sleeves that I wear 2 days out of the year. Light jackets. I may be chilly, but you burn. Facebook. So, you're selling all our information, huh? I tell you how mad I am, but I haven't taken that Facebook quiz yet. Also, what kind of information are you giving out? Because if it's my social security number, I really could care less. Just don't tell anybody don't tell people how many times I look at my cousin Steve's shirtless pictures. Facebook, I'm deleting you and you're burnt. People who say they're deleting their Facebooks, no you're not. What are you going to do? Rememorize all your friends' birthdays, call your family, print out the shirtless pictures of your cousin Steve? Don't do it, your family will find it brings up a whole nother bag of worms. People who say they're deleting their Facebooks, liar, liar, pants on fire, you burnt. Pokemon Go, can we Pokemon stop already? If I wanted an app to help me find monsters, I would download Grindr. Also, I have to leave my house to play this game. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of playing a video game? It's like going to China to get Chinese food delivered. Also, can we please pay attention to where we're going while we're playing? Do you really want to be the one in the obituaries whose cause of death was hit by a bus while chasing a Jigglypuff? Pokemon Go, F yourself, you burnt. Men's shorts, half the fabric, twice the shame. No one wants to see more male leg. I know the Met Ball was recently, but it doesn't mean I want to meet your balls. No grown man should be wearing shorts unless you're carrying a UPS package, and PS UPS, wear some pants. Also, if you're wearing shorts on the subway, be sure to lock it up. Don't leave your bag unattended, because if I see something, I'm going to say something, and I'm gay, so I'm probably going to be looking for something. Men's shorts, hope your fabric's flame-proof, because you burnt. Oh, no! That sound means not only are we out of time for the segment, but for the show, and it's been a good one. Welcome back to Season 9. I hope it's going to be a good one. Well, I know it's going to be a good one. We have some milestone episodes coming. Especially my 40th birthday show. I'm really kind of sad about that one, because I have no control over it. Anyway. If you think there's something funny I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. There is the show email. And again, if you, I don't know, have a complaint about a horrible sketch, please email the show. Follow me on Twitter with your Smile Power stories with the hashtag Smile Power Challenge. And follow me on TikTok for behind the scenes look, exclusive Taser Versus videos, and exclusive TikTok content. And while you're sitting there, please be sure to comment, like, and get the notifications anytime I post an episode. And if not for me, click subscribe for the kids. Let's let the less fortunate kids help them have a great Christmas. Because for every new subscriber I get all season long, I am donating $1 up to $60. If I get 61 subscribers, as I said, I will donate $100. So click subscribe, please. Be sure to come back next time when I continue back to school month, and next week we're taking a look at junior high. I know. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stop the hate, and until next week, everybody, that's all I'm saying.